Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. Everything in X Factor since Louise Simonson has taken over. This is Act 1 of her magnum opus, which I think X Factor is. I think X Factor is her best work. And Louise Simonson did Power Pack and did, I think, Adventures of Superman. She's done a lot of stuff, but X Factor, man oh man. And this is Act 1 of her run. And this is where things, I think, with Mutant Massacre, this is where they were heading. So, great cover here. I absolutely love this cover. I have like 4 copies of this issue. I have my original beat up copy that I had as a kid. And every time I see this, for some reason, I pick it up. It's not even a valuable book, but I just love this so much. I think Simonson, in one issue, drew the best Angel that there is. It's just awesome. So, this is a bit of a sad issue to me because there's no more, beautiful angel wings after this. And those of you who know what happens, then hey. But if you don't, hey, join me in this right here. So here we start with Angel, and this is Bobby Drake and Jean Grey are kind of sleeping. He must have a suite. And so you can see Angel has had his wings clipped off from the previous issue here. And so, whose death is it anyway? Louise Simonson writes, Walter Simonson pencils, and Bob Wiacek. I always say Wiacek. I don't know if that's correct or not. I always say it that way. So, he inks. Bob Harris and Jim Shooter continue with editorial. Jim Shooter, rest in peace, my man. He died a few months ago as of this recording here. And Angel starts to wake up. He says, or he thinks here, on my stomach, what happened? I remember battle in tunnels, wings crushed, in traction sick. And then he's like, back hurts like fire. What happened to my back? And then he screams, no, my wings, where are my wings? And so Jean Grey tells them that they had a court order and that they had to save him, and that she's just glad that he's alive. And of course, he doesn't agree, and he's like, you call this alive, Jean? You let them destroy me. And of course, there is a copy of the front page of the Daily Bugle that says high flying angel crashes. So, and we are now back in Anchorage, Alaska, and Cyclops, who went out there looking for his wife. By the way, I have a playlist. Feel free to check that out. I've been covering X Factor from the very beginning. I've also got the X-Men from classic X-Men #1 to current. I've also have the New Mutants in there from the beginning. And I have an X Universe playlist where everything is done in reading order. Everything's in order. So that includes Wolverine. So, all right. So we're at the morgue here, and they're showing him the body of what he believes to be Madeline Pryor. Now we know that is not true because we're also covering X-Men. So somehow someone wants him to think Madeline is dead. So Cyclops leaves, and he believes that he has lost his wife. He believes that he has lost his son. Of course, we know his son is going to end up growing up to be Cable, so we know that Nathan is not dead. So, all right. Anyway, he's beating himself up as he should because he abandoned them, and Louise Simonson is kind of downplaying the fact that he abandoned them, but let's not be. He blames himself, and it is 100% his fault here. And he's, of course, I should have been here, and now I've got to stay. Well, of course, he should have been there. It's his wife and kid, but he wanted to go chase some tail when he found out that Jean Grey was still alive. So he's saying he needs to find whoever did this to her. So we don't actually find out for a while. So just so that you know, this will be a thread that's sort of put on the back burner. But things will become clear during the Inferno. So, all right. And so we are at X Factor headquarters, and we've got the Beast, and then we've got Boom Boom, Skids, Rusty, and Leech, and it looks like it's laundry day. And Skids, of course, has her little force field there. So the phone rings, and the Beast answers. During this time, the Beast had his hair taken out in the early issues of X Factor. And so he answers the phone and says, "Yes, operator, this is X Factor's headquarters." Of course, the kids are complaining about being stuck on laundry detail. And Rusty says it was either the laundries or the dish. Sorry, it was either the dishes or the floors. And so he's like, "I'll take laundry any day." And so Boom Boom says, "With all the mutants that X Factor rescued recently, it's the worst job in the house. It's torture, slave labor," she says. And Skids uses her her power. She's always has that force field on, so she's always tripping and things. Boom Boom is more of a kind of like a troublemaker. So anyway, and Artie is using his mental abilities to let him know that they're talking, or that the Beast is talking with Cyclops. He creates these projections, and so you can see that the Beast is like, "Thank heavens you found her." And then he's like, "What?" So of course he's getting the news, and he says, "I'm sorry, Scott, I really am. Is there anything any of us can do?" So of course Scott says probably if they could go there, but he's like, "No, Warren, they cut off his wings." And of course the kids over here, and they're like, "What?" And so Artie feels terrible because of course Angel was trying to save him during the mutant massacre when he got hurt, requiring the wings to come off. So the Mutant Massacre is one of my favorite eras of X-Men. Feel free to check out the playlist. And so Skids consoles Artie and says, "Hey, don't blame yourself. It's not your fault." And it really isn't. So Mask, of course, is like, "Then they deserve what they get. Don't kid the ugly little punk. Sure, it's his fault. Not that Mask cares. Mask has always been of a jerk." Although one of the things that happened during Jonathan Hickman's run is they made Mask into a more a better character, I would like to say. He's a more sympathetic character in this. So one of the things, even though I don't like the Krakoa era of X-Men, one of the things they did do with a lot of the Morlocks, particularly people like Mask and stuff, is they did create for them to be a little bit more rounded, and that was good. So, but during this time, Mask is a bit of a jerk here, and so he's like, "Flaming do-gooders trying to teach mutants to pass for humans like them. Ha! Now the angels got no wings, like human for sure," and he laughs. You think X Factor can teach Mass to pass for human? Or the little ugly? So you can see how mean he is. And of course, Boom Boom doesn't like it. And he's like, stop it. Leave out of alone, you monster. He's just a baby. If it weren't for X Factor, you'd be dead too. I wish you were dead. And of course, he's going to go touch her. And he's like, I'll show you, monster. Of course, he has the mutant powers that, and if he touches like the face, he's like malleable like clay. And so she creates one of her little bombs, and she's like, I'll show you dead. Of course, the beast is none too happy, and he kicks the little boom boom, which goes through there, and you can see that it explodes here. And of course, the beast says, I told you what would happen, Boom Boom, if you pull that stun again. And then he tries to explain that Mass said, and he's like, forget Mass, I don't want to hear it. It's Boom Boom I'm concerned with, and she's pointing at him. And of course, she tries to tell him, those time bombs you create are potentially lethal, Tabitha. I'm tired of seeing you threaten others with them. And then he says, under no circumstances are they to be used against another being. Is that understood? He kind of snaps at her, and you can see her just, erg. And he says, an hour in the laundry room should give you plenty of time to think about this. And every time every time you time bomb somebody else, it'll be another hour. Now move it. So he's being a hard ass, but he has told her before. So her power is not it's a weapon. It's so that's what Hank is trying to teach him. Now, one of the things you see here is Mask smiling because nothing happened to him. So Skids is kind of happy that the Morlocks are gonna be returning home, so that's gonna be less laundry. And of course, Rusty says, "But hey, you're a Morlock. Are you gonna go home too, or are you gonna go with them?" So, all right. So now, Louise lets us know that a few days have passed. So it says here several days. So it could be about 3 days, 4 days. So, and so we're still at the hospital, and Warren is looking at a news clip of himself, and so Jean Grey comes in, and of course she listens to it, and she uses her telekinetic power to shut off the TV, and of course she says it's for his own good, and she goes, Warren, you don't need to hear that junk. And he says, yeah, what I'm sorry, yeah, like a question. What do I need to hear? He asks. More lies about how I'm gonna get well, how everything's gonna be fine now. And here, when I first had seen this when I was younger, I thought she was giving him a kiss, but she goes, you need to hear that we love you, Warren, that we care. And of course he says, without my wings, I'm nothing, less than nothing. How can you say you love me? How can you say you care? You let them do this. And of course, she says, well, you would have died. And of course, she's trying to give him the newspaper. Or she's taking the newspaper away. And then he grabs it from her. And he says, I should have died. And he's like, quit looking at me like that. Go on, get out of here. Take your lies and get out. So he's not dealing with it very well, but of course, why would he? It's a big part of it. Like if they were to cut off your arm, it'll take you a minute or so to recover from this. And so we're back into Alaska, and you see that Cyclops is at the funeral home here, and the funeral director says, "Excuse me, Mr. Summers." The telephone long distance from, and of course it's Jean Grey, and he says, yeah, I know you're sorry about Maddie. I'm sorry too. Look, I can't come back now. I have to stay, bury her, find the people who murdered her. I owe her that. And of course Jean Grey now is saying, I know, Scott, but Warren needs you. We all need you. I'm so worried about him. He won't eat, he won't talk to me. He's so angry. Goodness gracious, maybe she should take a lesson in psychiatry because that's just has to deal with it. You just got to let people kind of deal with things and get them some help. And so she says he's better off dead. I understand. I know how he feels, but I feel but Scott, I'm afraid, she says. And he goes, um let's see here. Does he say this? But no, I think he says it. Um well, I think he says that before. I think he says, "At least he's alive. I wasn't here when Maddie needed me, Gene, and so now she's dead. I can understand why you can't come to the funeral. You have to understand why I have to stay here." It's kind of funny that they're both to blame for everything, although he's more to blame. Don't he Cyclops is the one that started it. So at least now, even though it's too late, he's acting like a caring husband. So I'm gonna go through the next few pages kind of quickly. The Morlocks are wanting to leave, and they said they found some more. B says, "Bring them here. We'll take care of them." And of course, Skids is still angry about how he jumped on Boom Boom instead of Mask, and Mask now makes his play here. And Beast goes to defend him, and Mask is like, "You want Mask beauty treatment, Beast? Ha, you X Factor creeps past as human. Now, try to pass as human now," as he touches him, and of course, it hurts him. Caliban tells him to stop and put him back together. So these two are going to get into a fight, and Mask's going to use his power, but Leech stopped them, and then while Leech distracted Mask, Caliban takes care of that and tells him to fix Beast, which he does. So, but the Morlocks are gonna leave anyway. So, and it's probably for the best. So, they thank them for what they did, but they belong with their kind. And so, Skids decides she is going to stay. And so now we are in Anchorage, and so he is not having a good time and sees this is just so frightening. So he's getting like a vision of Madeline here, and Scott's feeling bad, and he's like, "Maddie, it was bad these last few months." He says now, "Oh my God, he abandoned this poor woman." If you've been following me since the beginning of my coverage with X Factor, you know how I feel about how Cyclops treated her. So, I almost wish you were dead, so I wouldn't have to choose. And of course, she's like, "Me or Jean, huh? Tough having that problem." And he's like, "I loved you and the baby. I'll kill them for murdering you." A real Old Testament, darling, very righteous. And all the while, Angel's in New York starving himself, brooding, dying, killing, life for a life, while you're here chasing after a dream. And then, of course, he realizes, "Oh, Jean's right. I need to go." So it's always screw Maddie. So anyway, they're gonna give him these pills for the pain, but he doesn't take them, and he is going to get out. So he's leaving the hospital. He's gonna get some scrubs, and these people are like, and one of the nurses here, "You saw Warren tonight. Lucky. How is he?" And he's like, "Gorgeous as usual. If the meat kingdom is filled with hunks like that, I'm applying for citizenship," she says. "No kidding. Hey, maybe we can get X Factor hunt us up a few just like him." And he's like, "I gotta get to the air." So he just goes to Kennedy Airport, and he says, "I need to fly one last time." And so we have a cloaked ship of Apocalypse going over the city of New York here. And I like how Walter Simonson just kayfabe the city here. So, and he's got 3 of his 4 horsemen, and we should already know who the 4th horseman is, but that's all right. "Look below, my horsemen, how the world teems, crawls with wretched, struggling humanity, weak, useless things." And he continues here, and our fellow mutants softer than ever. Than even the humans. The gene pool has become polluted. It must be cleansed, the weak removed, that the strong have room to thrive. Patience, my horsemen. Soon you will thunder over the earth. And that's coming in Fall of the Mutants, the X Factor. So that'll come in 24, 25, and 26, I believe. In sickness you will test them, pestilence, in war, in famine, and in death, yes, death. The time is right to pluck the fourth. And then the strong will survive, will live to sit at the right hand of apocalypse, and the weak will burn. And so the Morlock are leaving, and Caliban, again, is thankful for everything they did. Leech is going, Leech is crying, and Artie just waves goodbye. And so we get here to this scene. Now, I'm also doing Walter Simonson's run on Thor, so this is going to lead to Thor, okay? So if you want to know what's happening, head to my Thor playlist. That's already something that I have covered. So they're talking, and he just goes, I just want to go over and think. And he's like, come on. And then all of a sudden he goes that he disappeared. And it says here, if you want to know where he went, see Thor 377. So as I mentioned, I have covered that. So they're practicing with Skid. They're trying to, so that she picks this up. And of course, that's been her thing, is her force field's like kind of like Rogue. She can't control it. So they're working on this. Suddenly, Jean Grey comes, says Angel's gone, that somebody heard him get a cab and to go to Kennedy Airport to fly one last time. So they're going to go get the helicopter. And Scott, at that time, arrives in New York and sees their helicopter and comes through just like that because, hey, it's before 9/11. You could practically go anywhere in an airport. And so Scott's in there, and he's on Warren is on his private airplane, and they're saying he is going to Arizona, and there he is, this little airplane right here, and he is gonna fly, and he is gonna hit this button here. It's turning over the ocean, and they're like, hey, that's not going, I'm going to Arizona, and the airplane explodes, and they all go, Angel, my fault, I should have come here, and now, and they're like, she's like the same thing, oh, it's not your fault, it's really not your fault, everything's Cyclops' fault. So next issue, more torture, more guilt, more betrayal as Skids, Rusty, Boom Boom, and Artie face death in Morlock Alley, playing with fire. So, X Factor number 15, The Death of Angel, or is it? So this is my favorite run on X Factor. I like everything. I like things leading up to Fall of the Mutants. I like then things leading up to Inferno. It's just so really cool. But I have a soft spot for everything leading up to Fall of the Mutants. This is my this is my happy place on X Factor. So like and subscribe, and I do thank you so much for listening. Goodbye.